Now, this small experiment, we are going to repeat the things again. Benjamin Franklin, he explains that the glass rod, the charges produced on the glass rod are positive, while the charges produced on ebonite rod are negative. And in a small experiment, we have shown that how the like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. This is a small experiment to show the attraction or repulsion between the electric charges. That means the basic point which you may have studied, that is the charges when the any two objects are rubbed on each other, the one out of these two objects, one may become positive, other may become negative. That means here I have taken an example and so that how they can get the positive and negative charges. For that we have to go towards the transfer of electron when they are rubbed on each other. Now, how the transfer of electron takes place? Now, again the same example is taken, glass rod rubbed with silk cloth or silk only. When glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, what exactly happens in this case? When glass rod rubbed with silk cloth. Now here try to imagine a glass rod is in your hand and you have a silk cloth and you are rubbing that glass rod on a silk cloth. Now during this process there is a transfer of electrons. During this process there is a transfer of electrons. And this glass rod, it gives some electrons to the silk cloth. The substance who gets the electron becomes negatively charged, because what is the charge on electrons? Negative charge. And here the glass rod, this glass rod gives electrons to silk cloth. Gives electrons to silk cloth. Hence, the silk cloth becomes negative and the glass rod becomes positive. Here, the silk cloth becomes negative, glass rod becomes positive. The substance who gives the electron becomes positive. And the substance which accepts the electron become negative. That means there is a transfer of electrons from one substance to the other substance when they are rubbed on each other. And that's why the glass rod becomes positive and silk cloth becomes negative. Do you understand how the particular substance becomes positive and negative? It is because of the transfer of electrons. Now, this is the first example I have taken. Now, the second example is that the ebonite rod rubbed with fur. Fur means it may be a cat's fur. Ebonite rod rubbed with fur. That time what will happen? The fur gives electrons to the ebonite rod. In this case, the fur gives electrons to ebonite rod. Who accepts the electron here? Ebonite rod accepts the electron, and as the electrons are negatively charged particles, ebonite rod becomes negative while fur becomes positive. Here, fur gives some electrons to the ebonite rod and ebonite accepts it. And hence we can say that the ebonite rod becomes negatively charged and fur becomes positively charged. And it is because of the transfer of electrons. That means, do you understand how the electric charges are there? The substance who gives the electron becomes positively charged, while the substance which accepts the electron becomes negatively charged. And that is the reason we have shown how the glass rod becomes positive and ebonite rod becomes negatively charged in this case. That means we can conclude whenever two substances are rubbed with each other, they acquire the opposite charges. Here glass rod becomes positive while silk cloth becomes negative. Here ebonite rod becomes negative while fur becomes positive. That means again in more detail we can see that the number of electrons given by the glass rod to the silk cloth, it is same. Suppose it gives 5 electrons, then the silk cloth will accept 5 electrons. There is no, that is the conservation of charge is there. There is no increase or decrease in the number of charges. Whatever the number of electrons given by one substance, it is accepted by the other. And so that the conservation of charge also take place in this case. That means in case of a frictional electricity, the conservation of charge also takes place. Some of the substance, they give the particular number of electrons to the other substance when they are rubbed with each other, and that is the reason why they become positively and negatively charged. Later on, we have to study about the conservation of charge in case of electrostatics. But this is, I think this is sufficient to explain how the particular substance becomes positively charged and negatively charged. Do you understand how the positive and negative charges are produced? It is because of the friction between the two substances or two objects. And whenever the friction is there, we observe that one substance becomes positive, other substance becomes negative. Now then, the various examples can be given from our everyday life. Now, you know that in a winter season, our hair becomes dry. And when you use comb to set your hair, and when that comb is taken out, that comb, it attracts the small pieces of paper towards it. And this example shows that the comb has a static charges or electric charges on it after using it on your hair. This is the static electricity. Sometimes while opening the door of the car, you may experience the static charges. This is also the example of the static charges. Now, lightning in the sky, it is also the example of the charges in motion. You can observe the lightning in the sky in a rainy season, and it is the example of the static charges produced when the various clouds, they rubbed on each other and they will cause to produce the lightning in the sky. And these are the various examples, and again in detail we can say that to avoid such a production of static charges, it is always advised that the earthing is very important. Why the earthing is important? While doing the electrical connections in our house, the earthing is most important because that will cause to take away the excess charges to the earth. And this is because of the electric charge, excess electric charges are given to the earth, and that's why earthing is very much necessary. Now, these are the various examples of this in our daily life. And again, one more example, the ladies who use the polyester sari, when they take off these saris, they observe some sound or some light object, they may get attracted towards this polyester sari. This is also the example of the static charges present on this sari. Now, these are try to find out the many examples from this, how the charges are produced and what is the exact reason of why they become positive and negative, and this is because of the transfer of electrons from one substance to the other substance. and when transfer of electron takes place, the substance which gives the electron becomes positive and the substance which accepts the electron becomes negative. And this is all related with the positive and negative electric charges. Then there is a one experiment, that is the how to detect the electric charges on a body. How to detect? Suppose any body, I have given you the example when you are using a comb to set your hair in a winter season, that comb, it acquires the static charges on it. But how many charges are present on this comb? Is there any method to find the number of charges? And that method is the particular apparatus is used to find the charges present on a given body, and that is the gold leaf electroscope. Now we have to study the construction and working of gold leaf electroscope. Gold leaf electroscope. A simple apparatus or a device to detect electric charges on a body. What is gold leaf electroscope? It is the apparatus to detect electric charges on a body. As its name implies that it is a gold leaf electroscope. A thin gold leaves are used in this apparatus and it is used to find the number of charges present on it. Now then, I will draw the diagram to show the construction of this gold leaf electroscope. We will draw the diagram for this. Now to show the construction of gold leaf electroscope, I have shown you this first diagram. Now try to understand in this diagram, this is a glass window through which we can observe the gold leaves. Now this is a metal knob and the metal rod is connected, it is passed through the rubber to make it fix in a box, and at the end of this metal rod the thin gold leaves are there. This is the construction. To show the construction of gold leaf electroscope, I have used the first diagram. Now here what exactly happens, it is shown in the second diagram. Now in a second diagram, suppose this is a glass rod which has a positive charge, it is taken towards this metal knob. It will transfer the charges to it and these charges they are passed through this metal rod to the gold leaf. That means the charges are given to this gold leaf and this gold leaf it will show the deflection. If the charges acquired by the gold leaf they are very greater or they are large in number, it will show the large deflection. That means by observing the deflection of these gold leaves, it is possible to detect the electric charges on a body. This is shown like this. Now what is this third diagram? This is the big diagram. This is in compact form. Instead of taking a big box, a glass bottle can be taken, and in a glass bottle this is a metal knob. This is a metal rod and it is kept in a glass bottle. At the end of this metal rod, the gold leaf, thin gold leaves are connected. Now the same method is that if the positive charges or negative charges are given to this knob, they will transfer to this rod and these charges, this gold leaf, they will acquire the charges and they show the deflection. Here also the positive charges are there, they will get acquired. That means these leaves they will be deflected from each other as there is a repulsion between the light charges. And by the deflection of this gold leaf, it is possible to detect the electric charges on the body or on the electroscope. And this is the explanation for this. The degree of divergence of the gold leaves, it will indicate the amount of charge. That means we can write divergence of gold leaves indicates the amount of charge, indicates the amount of charge, indicates the amount of charge on a body. That means this metal rod has how much charges are present on it. It is shown by the divergence. Divergence means they are moving away from each other, right? This is the construction of the gold leaf electroscope. Now this electroscope can be charged by the two ways. Now here I have explained this metal rod, that is glass rod is taken which has a positive charges on it. This glass rod when it is taken towards the metal knob, they will transfer the electrons or the charges on it. But there are two methods of giving the charges, that is electroscope can be charged in two ways. The first method is that, I will draw this, I will write this here. Electroscope can be charged by two methods. The first method is that it is the by contact method. First is by contact. Now what is the meaning of by contact method? This is I have shown by contact. glass rod which has a positive charges on it, it is in contact with this metal knob and then it will transfer the charges to the metal rod and then to the gold leaves. That means this method is a bicontact. A charged rod is brought in contact with the metal knob and charge is transferred to electroscope. And this method gives the gold leaf electroscope the same charge as that of conductor. Now here I have shown the same charge as that of conductor. But if the conductor has a positive charge, gold leaf it has a positive charge. That means by contact method the same charge as that of conductor. That is, I have to write down in detail. Gold leaves has same charge as conductor. Now try to understand. Physically they are in contact and so that the gold leaves which shows the deflection, they have a same charge as that of conductor. But this method is not an effective method. It is not very effective method of charging the electroscope. Because why it is not very effective? Because whatever the amount of charge is given by contact, it is not totally transferred to the metal rod. Only few charges are transferred and so that the deflection shown by the gold leaves is minimum. That means this by contact method is not a very effective method to charge the gold leaf electroscope. Now the second method is by induction. Second method is by induction. Now what is the meaning of by induction then? Now in this case the glass rod is not in contact with the metal knob. That is, here the glass rod is there. Suppose we are taking the same example again and it has a positive charge. It is not in contact, it is taken near the metal knob only. And in this case, by the induction, the exactly opposite charges are produced on a metal knob. These opposite charges, they are transferred to this metal rod and this gold leaf has a minus charges. That means if the glass rod having the positive charge is taken near, not in contact, it is near the metal knob, the exactly the opposite amount of charges are produced on the metal knob and again it is given to the gold leaf negative charges. That is, opposite charges are given like this. That means here the charged rod is brought close to the metal knob and electroscope is earthed. Now one more thing is that this electroscope, it is connected to the earth. Here the negative charges will be there and so that these negative charges, the glass rod which is taken near it, it has a positive charge. When positive charged glass rod is taken near to it and this electroscope is connected to the earth, exactly the opposite charges will be produced and that opposite charges will be also produced on the gold leaves of the electroscope, and this is the induction method of charging the electroscope. And this method gives the gold leaf electroscope of opposite charges. Here the same charges will not produced by the induction method. And this is the all about the gold leaf electroscope. That means we have to consider the gold leaf electroscope is very important to detect the electric charges on a given body. That is, what is the amount of electric charges present on it to detect that the gold leaf electroscope is used. This is all about the electric charges. That means we have to revise all the points here. In this first and second article of this chapter, electric charges and fields, we have stated the definition or the exact difference between the electrostatics and current electricity. Electrostatic deals with the study of electric charges in rest position, while current electricity studies the electricity in motion. That is the exact difference. That means here the electric charges are produced, but they are in rest position. And the various effects shown by the electric charges in rest position is studied in electrostatics. We have studied how the positive and negative charges are produced, and this is because of the friction between the two objects. When any two objects, they are rubbed on each other, there is a transfer of electrons takes place, and because of this transfer of electron, one object becomes positively charged while other becomes negatively charged. Then we have studied the like charges repel each other while unlike charges attract each other. These are the points to remember from this part. Then to detect the electric charges, we have to use the one apparatus, and that is the gold leaf electroscope. This is all about the theoretical part, and depending on this theoretical part, now we have to solve the multiple choice questions for your practice. I will write it on board. If possible, you can write it in your notebook. Make a separate notebook for this subject for the MCQ. And while observing all these lectures, you can write these MCQs in your notebook. Try to find the answer. If not, then in next lecture, the teachers will explain the answers. And then you have to, that means leave one page for the answer, and that time you will understand how to solve exactly, how to find the exact answer of the multiple choice question. So that we will write the multiple choice questions on this part. Depending on the article 1.1 and 1.2, in this chapter electric charges and field, here are some multiple choice questions for your practice. Now these questions are, there are two types of electric charges, positive and negative charges. The property which differentiates the two types of charges is, which property differentiates the positive and negative charges? The options given here, A option is field of charge, B is amount of charge, C is the strength of charge, and D is polarity of charge. Which property differentiate the positive and negative charges from each other, that you have to find. Second, what will happen when we rub a glass rod with silk cloth? The first example, many times we have discussed this fact. Some of the electrons from glass rod are transferred to the silk cloth. B option is the glass rod gets positive charge and silk cloth gets negative charge. New charge is created in the process of rubbing, and the last D option is both A and B are correct. You have to find the correct answer. When a person combs his hair, static electricity is sometimes generated by what process? Which process produces the static electricity? Options are, contact between comb and hair results in a charge. Friction between comb and hair results in the transfer of electrons. Deduction between the comb and hair, and induction between comb and hair. Which answer is possible? You have to find out of these four options. Now here the fourth MCQ is, object may acquire an excess or deficiency of the charge by, how they acquire the excess charges or deficiency of the charges. The reason may be by the electric force, by heating, by shaking, or by rubbing. That means particular substance, how they get the more electrons, or deficiency of electrons means they will give out the electrons. By which process is exactly responsible for it, that will be your answer. And the last one is, the charge on an electron was calculated by, and to find this answer, these are the names of scientists: Faraday, J.J. Thomson, Millikan and Einstein. You have to read the theory part from your chapter, who found the charge on electron. And easily I think that when you read the book very carefully, it is very possible, and if not, the next time I will give you the answer which scientist is responsible for this method. And so that all these are the theoretical questions, because in today's part we have studied the theory part of this chapter related with the further, that is the next parts. The theory is also very important, so that read the theoretical part very carefully, make your own notes, make the underline on the important parts. In between, reading between the lines is very important in physics, so that when you use the proper method of studying the physics, then physics will be a fun, not a tension. And so that I am sure about you, you will do it very better. So that all the best for your work. Thank you.